hold it back. You must destroy it before that happens.
Hello again, Guardians, and welcome back to the channel for another Destiny content related video on the Rise of Iron expansion. In today's video, I'm wielding the Fever and Remedy. It's going to be a hand cannon out of the Wrath of the Machine hard mode raid, and you get it and acquire it by killing Axis, the final boss inside of the hard mode raid. And if you do kill Axis, you have the chance of either getting this hand cannon or you get the pulse rifle. Now you'll also get the normal mode loot drops, which will be the auto rifle and the scout rifle. But we're just talking about the hand cannon for this video, a full in-depth guide on PvE and PvP. So let's get into the perks. Perk for this hand cannon, what you're going to want to do is it's got a special perk giving bonus damage for fallen enemies and also bonus agility when this weapon is equipped. The bonus agility inside Crucible can help you through tight situations. Now moving forward, we also have smart drift control, predictable and controllable recoil penalty to range. Then we've got more range and impact, increased recoil. Then we've got field choke, more range and impact, increased recoil. I picked field choke because it's actually going to give you 2 points extra of damage, and we're going to get into that 2 points extra of damage later on in this video and why it helps so much. Then we've also got reactive reload, which is going to allow for reloading this weapon after a kill, granting 33% more damage per a short period of time for 3 seconds. Then we've also got hammer forged, we've got speed reload, and we've got reinforced barrel. Reinforced barrel is what I will be running because it gives you more range and it's actually fairly decent. Then we've also got quick reaction. When the reactive reload is actually active, we've also got a bonus agility while reactive reload perk is active. So it's actually really good. It's essentially Battle Runner on a hand cannon without having the Battle Runner perk, and you always can activate it if you kill someone, reload quickly, and you'll have Battle Runner active. It's actually fairly good, but now let's actually get into why I'm running it the way I am and why we've got reactive reload with the reinforced barrel and the field choke. Okay, Guardian, so you came to watch this video because you want a full review. So the PvE aspect of it, is it good in quests, the raid, strikes, or even running patrols? Yes. If you're facing off against fallen enemies, more likely than not in the Rise of Iron expansion. If you're going through the Wretched Eye strike and you're facing a lot of fallen, if you're going through the Sepik strike, or if you're going through Wrath of the Machine raid, it does one-shot the Shanks out of Axis Phase 1 and Phase 2. It does one-shot the Shanks in Boss 6 on hard mode. And the thing is if you're running through with a hand cannon, you've got that Battle Runner, you've got the extra agility, the extra fallen damage. So it does stack up very high next to the palindrome, the Eyes Luna, and also the Imago Loop inside of PvE events. What it does excel mostly at, though, is the PvP aspect. So we're going to move into that and get a further in-depth guide on the Fever and Remedy right now. So Guardians, the moment you've all been waiting for, whether this hand cannon Fever and Remedy from the Wrath of the Machine hard mode raid is actually good in Crucible. Well, we'll let the gameplay speak for that, but I'll also pretty much judge on some of my words as well. First off, it does stack very well against the Eyes Luna, the Imago Loop, and the Palindrome inside of PvP, depending on what rolls you have on those guns. Now it does get 2 points higher on the Palindrome, allowing you to actually one-shot body and one-shot head with a throwing knife from a hunter on the Max Armor Titans and Max Armor Ram Warlock, which is actually fairly incredible. We'll show that in a test momentarily, but let's go over the actual gun. I run, as I said earlier in this video, max range, which brings down the stability a little bit. But it does not stop the gun from having a predictable recoil. The predictable recoil on this weapon is actually fairly decent, allowing you to counteract where you're aiming prior to after each shot, allowing you to switch between your sidearms, your sniper rifles, even your shotguns, maybe fusion rifles, allowing you to get off your melees and your grenades, and being able to counter back with the hand cannon to deal the extra damage. It does give a lot of damage on headshots, and you can two-shot the head with this new Fever and Remedy hand cannon. The only thing that really changes is using it inside of a hunter subclass. If you use throwing knives and you're really good with them, if you one-shot body someone and then one-shot headshot someone with the throwing knife, say you get a body shot with your hand cannon and you have the time to do a melee and you throw a throwing knife at someone and it hits them in the head, they are guaranteed to die. Cool thing with facing off against other hunters is if you get a body shot, you then can throw a throwing knife anywhere on their body. As long as it hits them, they're also dead. Which means In any case scenario inside of PvP, this damage on this hand cannon is a little bit OP. It's kind of overpowered, but it's actually fairly decent. If you guys actually have the chance to get your hands on this hand cannon, I'd fairly well recommend using it inside of PvP and get used to using it. Get used to the stability, and once you do, you'll actually be fairly well off inside of Crucible using that with your Hunter, even your Titan, and even your Warlock. Now let's go in and actually test out why it's so good with the Hunter subclass. Okay, Guardian, so I'm going to actually really show you guys the actual information on the actual perks with the amount of damage that it does inside of the actual Crucible. So what we're doing is we've got no light registered. So our light is actually evened out no matter what armor and weapons they're actually equipping. We've got a Ram, Helmet, Warlock, maxed armor. We've got a maxed armor Titan. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you the palindrome first with a headshot with a throwing knife from a Hunter. And we're really going to show you what we mean by the amount of damage. As we can see, it didn't kill him immediately. My perk from my actual Hunter subclass is the only thing that actually did that. We will actually take off the burn, which is Incendiary Blade, and we will just go to Circle of Life, which is actually going to change it. We're not going to be able to kill him this time. So we do a body shot, and then we do a headshot, and he doesn't die. Now, what we can do for the Warlock next, we'll actually do the Warlock next after we test out the Fever and Remedy with GameFreak. Okay, Guardians, so now for the Fever and Remedy with a throwing knife. We're going to do a body shot, then going to throw it at his head, and he'll actually instantly die. Now, that is the trick with this, where the Fever and Remedy will actually one-shot body to one-shot head with a throwing knife, opposed to the palindrome or the imago loop. It's actually the only hand cannon in the game that will actually effectively do this with a high-leveled armored Titan and also the Warlock with a Ram. It will definitely do it with the Hunters. The Hunters have such low armor that it's actually very effective. You can actually get a body shot and body a Hunter with a throwing knife and it will actually kill them. We're going to go and actually test it out with the Ram Warlock next. So now for the Warlock with the Ram, if they're running a Nova Bomb class and they're actually using Void Armor on their chest piece and they're running the Angry Magic, they will survive if they're running any of those with the Ram. So with Bryan right now, he's actually got the Angry Magic off and his armor off, and we can actually one-shot body and also throw the throwing knife at his head and he should die. As you can see, there you have it. We're going to have GameFreak revive him, and I'm actually going to switch out to the palindrome and show you that a high-leveled Ram Warlock won't die to palindrome and a throwing knife. As you can see, he needs 2 more points from his health bar to actually kill him. We're going to wait for another throwing knife, and I'll actually show you with the Ram and also Void Armor that will actually be able to kill him with the Incendiary throwing knife, though. Okay, Guardians, so Bryan is running a full armored Warlock with the Angry Magic with Void Armor. Now his chest piece is going to have Void Armor. With that Ram, I actually am going to have to switch over to my Incendiary Knives and see if I can kill him that way. So Incendiary Blade, as we see here, we're going to use the Fever and Remedy just to actually give you that extra 2 points of damage, and we're going to show you what can happen. As you can see, we actually successfully killed him with the Fever and Remedy, still a one-shot body and a one-shot head with the throwing knife, but this time we had to actually use Incendiary Blade, which is still effective. If you're running Incendiary Blade with the Fever and Remedy, it's going to be very, very useful. But now, going back to the Titan really quick, remember if you're running a full armored subclass Titan that's a Striker Titan, with the shield, it's not going to do that. You're going to have to keep into effect with the extra armor that a Striker Titan can gain from certain objectives with their skill tree. It's not going to one-shot body and then one-shot head with a throwing knife. It's going to change up a little bit. But let's go on and talk about the gun a little bit more. So Guardians, I hope you all enjoyed that gameplay in PvP and PvE. up against the Fever and Remedy hand cannon out of Wrath of the Machine hard mode raid. As you can see, it stacks up really well in PvE, especially going up against fallen enemies. It stacks up right next to the Eyes Luna, the Imago Loop, and also the Palindrome in precise with damage and accuracy, and also stacks up well in PvP as we've shown with my Warlock gameplay, and also the Hunter Knife throwing knife test. Up against a high armored Titan and a high armored Warlock with the Ram, it stacks up well with a Hunter subclass, allowing you to one-shot body to one-shot head with a throwing knife, and also it works really well against a high armored Warlock with Angry Magic and a chest piece with Void Armor with the Nova Bomb, allowing you to use the Incendiary Knife to one-shot body to one-shot head and then burn them the rest of the way so that you actually get the kill. PvP, the gun is very strong in. PvE, on the other hand, it's kind of questionable on whether you should use this or another weapon. Honestly, I would probably use another weapon inside of PvE, but in PvP, I would definitely want this hand cannon in my arsenal. Thank you all for watching this video, and if it helped in any way, remember to subscribe and like the video. Subscribe for daily Destiny content and future reviews of other weapons inside of the game of Destiny. And again, Guardians, we'll see you all Starside in the next video.